So, guys, moving forward, let's talk a little bit about a little trailer that came out this week with Gladiator 2, starring none other than Denzel and what's this guy's name again?
Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal.
He seems to be a regular mention on this show.
I don't see the issue. Okay, so let's go. Let's start off with the simpler stuff. The likes. What did we like?
I like Pedro Pascal. I like Denzel Washington. I mean, it's it's a gladiator. It's the return of the Gladiator series. I guess you can call it a series now. It looks great in terms of cinematography. I feel like it's maybe the trailer gave away a little too much with like what's going on in the plot.
You think so?
But yeah, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe there'll be a few more twists and turns. But I mean, the characters, like the acting, the action sequences, all looks good to me. I love the original Gladiator movie, so I'll be looking forward to this for sure.
I don't think there's one person that I have ever met in my life that has never liked the Gladiator movie.
Yeah, I remember when that movie came out, like it was just such a big deal.
It was,
like, especially like once it got to like home video and TV. Like once it came on, like everybody was watching it. Like. That was the movie that if it's on TV, like that's what your dad is putting on, like in the house, you know.
But didn't Ridley Scott win an Academy Award for that, or am I?
He might, most likely,
possibly. Anyway,
yeah.
So pancakes. What about you?
Agree with Johnny. The visuals look amazing. The camera work looks great. However, I know this is the year of the sequel. This was one that I know it's been in the works, but to do it 20-something years later. I know Beetlejuice is 36 years later, and we mentioned all these sequels, but at the same time, it's like, the first one's such a classic, and I thought it was good as a standalone. I just feel like this came out of nowhere. I know this has probably been in the works since the original, and there's always talk of a sequel, but the fact that it actually happened, and I know no Russell Crowe. Yes, I know what happened to his character in the original movie. But yeah. I don't know. I just
it's like the next generation,
right?
Like the trailer looks really good, but the fact that it's a sequel after all this time, it's just one of those. I'm just on the fence on. I don't know.
Really?
I mean, the premise sounds good. Like it's about like now Rome is apparently taken over by these like tyrannical emperors, and the main character is fighting to save all of Rome, which sounds like a little gratuitous, but like. I mean it's like I said, it's a next generation story. It's like I'm assuming that we're seeing the son of what's his name's character,
Russell
Crowe's character. So like I tend to enjoy those stories when they're done right, at least. So hopefully it is done right here. But I mean it was a good trailer overall from what we saw. I think from what we heard is where a lot of people are kind of drawing a line with this.
I'm glad you brought that up with what we heard, because this is a timepiece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not playing timepiece style music? There's no reason to be putting hip hop in a trailer. Like maybe it's just for advertising, but I will tell you this. If I hear hip hop playing while there's a fight scene, I'm literally going to trash this movie. I'm not even joking.
I mean, hip hop could be hype for an action sequence or a fight sequence, but it's bless you. But it's for a gladiator like Rome sequence, like a period piece like that. Like if I'm seeing gladiators fight in the Coliseum, I want to hear like who composed the original movie? Was it like Zimmer, like John Williams or something like it was a very epic, like an epic orchestrated like musical piece. Like that's what I want to hear for like any sort of fight in like that type of setting. Like if I'm watching like like a Creed movie with like a Rocky or something like that, like a modern movie in a ring or something like that, maybe like hip hop will work. But for something like Gladiator, I was hearing that music and I was like, because I heard before I watched the trailer, I heard like the people complaining about the music, and I was like, all right, let's see what it sounds like. And then once that scene came on, I was like, oh, I get like it just seemed completely
Hans
Zimmer was he was the original movie composer, and like that's the type of music that you want to hear.
I agree,
like
totally.
Something like orchestrated and epic, and
something that matches the era that it's playing.
Right, and that's what this sound. Whatever song they played in this trailer just sounded completely mismatched with the movie that it's supposed to be.
But I will tell you this though, it is in 48 hours the most viewed trailer to anything that who's doing this? Lionsgate?
Are you talking about the studio?
Yeah, the studio. I think it was Lionsgate, wasn't it?
Paramount Pit? No, they distribute.
Well, regardless, whoever it is, it was their most viewed trailer ever.
I mean, the hype for this movie was.
It has to be Paramount because it was the same studio. Yeah. So, also, it also coincides with the fact that the last time they had a big viewing in their trailers was Top Gun 2. And because of that, Top Gun 2 went and became the #1 thing. So hopefully this turns out to be the same thing. The only thing that I was kind of like iffy on is the accent that Denzel Washington is doing. Because it seems like he's way too New Yorker than he is.
It sounds that way, but I feel like we haven't heard enough of him to make a conclusion on that yet.
Possible.
I mean, I disagree when people think that they have to sound British in these
that's
settings
not what
too.
I was saying. I wasn't saying that he had to listen to, he had to speak like in a British tone, but it just seems like he's just talking like his normal self.
Well, this is Ridley Scott, right? He gave us Napoleon last year, where it was about like Napoleon, Joaquin Phoenix talking in his normal voice, even though this whole thing takes place in 1800s France. So, I think this is just like a style choice that he just goes by as a director. So I'm not too worried about that, but I think, yeah, maybe because we only had like a few quick lines from Denzel throughout the entire trailer. So we probably need another one or just watch the movie and see how it sounds like in full. But
yeah.
It looks like in this picture, like Pedro Pascal, like just took off his Mandalorian helmet and he's just roaming around in his armor. And Denzel was already in Italy chilling after the events of Equalizer, so he was already in Italy.
Equalizer 3,
and somehow he just ended up back in Roman times.
It's possible. I mean, you're not wrong. So
I see Pedro Pascal here, and all I think to myself is like, you raped her, you murdered her, you killed her children. Before he gets his head bashed in by the mountain.
Yeah.
But
So come November, what is it? I think it's a week before Thanksgiving on November 22nd that this movie is going to come out, and I think it's going to be an exciting November.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think this will be big for the holiday season for sure.
Oh, yeah. And I think
this will get butts in seats.
I think it needs it. Because this last year wasn't that great of a year. And I feel with all the strikes that happened last year, movie theaters need some big boost this year.
Yeah, it needs a little kickstart. So.
Yeah. So the question goes out to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is going to be a hit like the original, or do you think that this is going to be a flop? Let us know in the comment section down below.